anybody can punch somebody, knock somebody out. But how many people can really go into a situation that's uncomfortable and walk out of that situation unfazed and still in control of themselves and emotions when they leave? Not many people
Yeah.
can do that.
Welcome back to the podcast. I started this podcast as a way to help Black men in all aspects of our lives. Studies show on average we lose 2.8 years of our life when we're under heavy stress. And I think we can gain those 2.8 years back if we express ourselves healthily. Stick with me as I interview therapists, doctors, advocates, activists, and friends about how we can be better as Black men and as a Black community. If you're not subscribed to us on YouTube and following us on Instagram and TikTok, you'll definitely want to do that. Without further ado, let's get into the episode. Y'all, we are back for another episode. We're here with Branden Mitchell. Branden is a creative. There's a lot more that you do under that umbrella, man. So first of all, I want to say thank you for being open for that to the episode, being open to lead with vulnerability. I'm happy to have you, bro.
Thanks for having me, dog.
Of course, bro. So I want to hop straight into it. I know we were
Okay.
talking in the precursor a lot, right? So can you tell me and tell the audience, right, about the relationship that you had with your mom? Because I feel like a lot of us as Black men don't spend enough time dissecting that relationship. A lot of us have had like father issues or father wounds, but we never really talk too much about the mom and like our relationship with our mom. So I just want you to kind of break that down.
Yeah. So I grew up in my mom. She married. I have two younger brothers, right?
Hmm.
So there was my stepdad. So it was my mom, my two younger brothers, and my stepdad. So it was a certain point, I believe, like around high school. My stepdad kind of just like left and didn't really come back.
Hmm.
So a lot of pressure was, I guess, more so was put on me. Like you got to step up, be the man of the house. I had to look out for my younger brothers. My mom was going back to school around that time too, so I had to make sure they ate, homework was done. It just, it's that kind of stuff that we don't really necessarily think that really affects us
Hmm.
because I was more so younger and I was more so like, okay, this is what I'm supposed to do. So from what I learned through therapy, it was more so like I kind of got to a point to where I started to put other people's needs before mine.
Mm.
And, my mother, needing help, I guess she wasn't really able to realize that was something that I started to do. And I feel like that kind of at a certain point really started to affect our relationship. And even, I mean, you already know how it is growing up with your mom. Like she'll tell you something, and it's more so when your mom says something, it's the law.
Yeah.
And for me, that was a thing of like not really getting a voice to really speak up and talk about like stuff that I felt like I needed to talk about.
Hmm.
And sometimes, like even when it comes to like discipline, like with your parents, they want you to do right. And sometimes they feel like, okay, well, I'm disciplining you like this because I feel like if I discipline you like this, you won't make these mistakes that I'm trying not to have you do out in life. So
Hmm.
sometimes that can get to a point, you already know, like I've known people, we talked about like jokingly, like getting whipped with like hangers, belts and stuff like that. It's kind of like a running joke. You people talk about, well, you didn't get beat with this growing up, you didn't get beat with that growing up.
Hmm.
So I feel like even that kind of stuff, like now that I'm older and I'm able to talk to my mom about that kind of stuff that kind of went on growing up, we have a better relationship, but more so not being able to voice how that kind of stuff made me feel younger. I feel like that really affected our relationship even when I was young, because it was a certain point at a time, like I just didn't really want to speak to my mother because I'm like, you just don't get it.
Man, so take me through that, bro, because I feel like you talked a little bit about how you were when you were younger, and I know we had a conversation about that. So like, what was like something that you struggled with when you were younger, outside of like your relationship with your mom?
Mm, More so putting myself first, making sure like I was good.
Hmm.
I would always
Hmm.
be like, nah, it's cool. Like, I'll make sure you good. Then I'll come back for me. And that
And
was a habit that was a
yeah,
habit I realized I picked up.
yeah, and I was gonna say like even outside of that, bro, because I remember we were talking in the precursor, and you were like, you feel like other people, like a lot of people said you had anger issues growing up. Like,
Yeah.
why do you feel like they were saying that?
I feel like it was a lot of stuff going on at home that I wasn't able to talk about.
Mm.
So in turn, that gave me like this, you don't even realize it, bro. It was just crazy. It's like, okay, I'm like, I know I can't talk about it, but there's like a certain aura of like energy or vibe you kind of carry along throughout the day.
Mm-hmm.
And people would be like, yo, you got like anger issues, bro. And I was never like the type to like pop off or like really yell off. But people
Mm-hmm.
really knew like, okay, like don't piss Branden off. Brandon's not really the person you really want to fuck with. But
Mm-hmm.
like I said, I wasn't like the one that was always spazzing on people. But when I did, it was like, all right, like I'm a cool. So I guess it was more so of just like that pending how do you explain it, bro? It's like a
You had a
I
lot of
guess
you said what?
go ahead. What were you about to say?
I was gonna say you had a lot of pent up emotions, a lot of internalized
Yeah.
thoughts and feelings. And what ends up happening with that as black men, right? Like when we have all these internalized emotions, when we have all of these internalized thoughts, things that we can't get out, what ends up happening is we have an emotional outburst, right? And
Mm,
for us, the emotional outburst that we have always tends to be anger, right? So
yeah.
like sometimes women will have emotional outbursts and they'll be frustrated and cry, right?
Hmm.
And that may be the emotion that they're actually feeling. For us as black men, it's always anger. Even if we need to cry, it's going to be
Hmm.
anger, right? And the reason why is because we haven't been taught or we haven't been socialized that crying is okay, that sadness is okay. When we think about
Yeah.
crying and sadness, we cringe,
You
right? So
think it's weak.
yeah, we cringe and we think it's weak. So any emotional outburst that we have is normally going to be anger because we use anger as an umbrella emotion, right? So
For
like
sure.
all of the emotions that we feel equate to actual anger because that's the only emotion we've been taught that we can actually express
Hmm.
openly without being condemned. And even then we're condemned with that.
Yeah. Even because it's like you're always angry. So it's like
Right, right. Right. Yeah, man. So I'm glad you talked about that, bro. But we talked about some other stuff too, man. I want to get into because I feel like a lot of men deal with it and they don't talk about it, bro. So we were talking about sexual assault, right? Like, can you take me through that and your experience with it?
yeah, bro. So I started modeling when I was like around maybe like around 21. Yeah, like
Mm-hmm.
around 21. And Instagram wasn't really like really popping like that. So it was more so people a lot more on what was it, Facebook at that time, trying to like reach out to people, find people to work with, right?
Right.
So I get into that. I get into like pretty much I find like the top pretty much the top, I guess, group or people I should be talking to and working with. And in turn, kind of bouncing around in that circle, trying to find like people to work with. There was a lot of situations that, like I said, it was a lot, being touched during a photo shoot and me
Mm-hmm.
looking the way I look and built the way I'm built. It's like, bro, if I react and like I'm telling you, I had this stuff dealing with like my mom too beforehand, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it was kind of like this this teeter-totter thing. I was kind of like trying to balance like my anger, but then at the same time having to learn how to speak up for like boundaries. But
Mm-hmm.
even going through that, it was a certain way I really wanted to react, which is, physically, right? And I
Mm-hmm.
can't really react physically the way I would want to in the situation. So it was a thing of like, I don't want to say feeling like I was weak, but it was the thing of that was
Feeling
kind of like the
feeling
emotion I got behind it.
yeah, feeling powerless in that moment.
Yeah, feeling powerless behind it. Then even when I wanted to speak up and when I did speak up, there was a point to where like, this manager that was really big out here in LA tried to like blacklist me for it. So
Mm.
I'm like, it wasn't really a really good vibe to go through, really good situation. And this was like before the Me Too movement and all that. It was like maybe a year before that.
Right. So I have a lot of questions about that, bro. And first of all, I want to say thank you for sharing that openly, man, because I know how difficult that could be, and I know a lot of black men that deal with that, maybe in a space where they don't feel comfortable opening up and sharing it. But hearing you talk about it can open that door for a lot of other men. That's why we always talk about leading with vulnerability on the platform. Like this is what that looks like. So I just want to thank you for that.
Yeah, real quick before we
Yeah,
even
go
dig
ahead.
into or anybody
Yeah.
listen, like if you're going through that, I just want to say this because I feel like a lot of times, like you said, there's not really many people talking about it. And I feel like sometimes people who go through it, like I said before, like you feel weak, you feel vulnerable, like you weren't able to defend yourself or, stop it from happening. And I want
Right.
to let people know, like, there's nothing wrong with you. You didn't do anything wrong in the situation. It's just a matter of you needing to, I don't want to say necessarily speak up, but if feel like you have some kind of pent up emotion from that, you should probably be talking to somebody about it.
Right. Absolutely. And since you said that, I think this is a good segue to talk about safe haven. I'll get that, and then I'll talk about the rest of what I wanted to ask you. So for those of y'all that don't know, Safe Haven is a holistic healing platform that's made for Black men by Black men. So what we do is we take the stress out of the healing process for Black men. And the way that we do that is we pair Black men with therapists as part of our partnership with Whole Brother Mission. We have over 3,000 therapists in our network, 3,000 Black therapists in our network. And so we pair Black men with therapists inside of the Safe Haven platform so that they can actually heal from the things that, we find it difficult to sometimes talk about. Not only do we do that, but we also have a support network right now of over 250 Black men inside of the platform. So outside of therapy, you can also have a support network of men that can help you through some of the things that you're dealing with so that you don't have to heal alone. And even outside of the therapy, outside of the support network, we also have a healing library, which is a collection of content, media, webinars, ebooks, courses to help Black men navigate their life so they can feel more comfortable about the decisions that, we have to make when it comes to family, when it comes to business, relationships, and things of that nature, just life in general, right? Because, as a Black man, it can be difficult sometimes. Like you're trying to navigate this life and you really don't feel like you have the information or the tools, or sometimes you don't have the support network, or you don't have the therapy, or you don't have all three, right? So what we do in Safe Haven is we facilitate not only connecting men with resources like the therapy, like primary care physicians, but also connecting them with a support network of Black men that are healing and giving them the information that they need to navigate their life. So when you say, yeah, go and get you someone to talk to, I'm like, listen, man, I got to plug in Safe Haven here, man. So I appreciate you saying that. And then outside of that, right? Outside of that, so you talked about the sexual assault, bro. One of the things that I wanted to talk about and wanted to ask you is, how did you feel after, right? Because you talked about the feeling powerless during, right? Like, what was the feelings and emotions after? Like, because I feel like you got to a point of acceptance, but I don't feel like that's how it started.
Nah.
Yeah,
Nah.
yeah.
Honestly, you said, how did I feel after? You feel, because it depends on, the type of person you're trying to become, bro. And it's like I hold myself to a very high standard. So I'm always trying to control myself even in uncomfortable situations. Like I'm trying to remain a cool guy, like calm, cool, collective, like regardless. That's what I'm gonna do. So after it happened, I'm just like more so like I should have socked this motherfucker. That's literally what I was thinking. I'm in the car, like, do I go back? Like, and I'm like, I'm kind of like back and forth. Like I should have did this, but I already know if I would have did this, how it would have looked and like what I would have been talking to the police and trying to like I would have made it bigger than I felt like what I really, really needed to make it. So honestly, it was a lot of battling. Like, what do I do? Do I do this? Do I do this? And you even have like that, the voice in the back of your head is like, all right, if I tell somebody, like if somebody's gonna be thinking this about me, they're gonna be saying this kind of stuff about me.
Right.
So it's a lot of stuff, you're running through in that situation.
Let me ask you this, right? Just to make it plain for people. Did you feel like people would think you were gay?
I mean, honestly, to be real, I've been getting that since high school. So for me, it's like I don't really.
It didn't really matter to you.
It
What
didn't
so
really
like,
matter to me.
yeah, and the reason why I asked that is because I feel like a lot of times, like for us as men, we get super uncomfortable when we feel like something we do can be associated with being gay if we're not gay.
Yep.
Right. And so like it's this whole like homophobia, like homophobic culture that we live in, where like anything that's deemed anywhere remotely close to feminine is gay. And if you're gay, you're not a man. If you're not a man, you've lost your identity. If you lost your identity, you have no place in society. You get what I'm saying? And so like it spirals into all of that. So for us, it's like, I'm going to clutch on to whatever we associate with masculinity, whatever we associate with manhood. And I feel like for some people that deal with sexual assault, it can be daunting to talk about it because they may feel uncomfortable with that conversation of, well, why didn't you do something? If you didn't do something, then are you gay? You get what I'm saying? So I just want to bring that up just because I didn't want people like I know that that's something that people think about, and I don't want that to be something that stops a man from opening up and expressing that, because at the end of the day, like you have to come to terms, I think in this situation, to come to terms with why you didn't respond. You know what I'm saying? And like for you, I feel like you've done a good job of that. Like you said, like, if I responded in this way, then I'm having to explain to the cops, or this and this is happening. Also, you had livelihood at stake in terms of you opening up and talking about it and now getting blacklisted from jobs. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of different factors that play into why certain, sometimes men won't, say anything about that, because it's a lot of stuff. And not even just men, even women too. Like, so like I'm glad you talked about that, because I feel like anybody that's dealing with it needs to hear that. You know what I'm saying? And even people that aren't dealing with it, they need to hear like the experience and know how it could be for someone that's going through it. But yeah, go ahead. You gonna say something?
Yeah, even the thing you were saying of like feeling like you didn't respond in the situation, I don't think it's necessarily thinking like, okay, I didn't punch him, I didn't respond in the situation. Like you being calm, cool, collected in the situation is a form of responding. Then going the legal route and talking to the police, filing a lawsuit, that is a way of responding. But responding doesn't always have to be physically. And I think a lot of times as men, we feel like, okay, well, if I didn't respond physically, pump my chest out and go beat somebody up, I didn't respond the way I was supposed to. And we got to get at that thinking of like, okay, if this is what this person's probably going to assume I should have did, I probably should have did it. No, you need to do what's best for you in this situation.
Yeah, nah, I love the fact that you said that, bro. Because again, that's another thing that we hold on to, right? Like, it's like if I'm not beating somebody up for disrespecting me, then I'm not a man.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got disrespect, you ain't punch him in the face, bro. You pussy.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, like, why do I need to beat people up? Like, why does that always have to be the response? I'm tired. Like, I'm tired of that, bro. I ain't gonna lie, bro. I don't want to have to fight everybody, bro.
I hear
Yeah,
you.
you know how like, I'm sure you know how exhausting that is. I don't think people understand how exhausting it is for the response for men to conflict to always be beat him up or beat them up. Like, bro, that is exhausting, bro. I don't want to always have to go outside and then when I experience conflict, feel like the first course of action is to beat the person up or to destroy whatever opposition that I have. You know what I'm saying? Like, bro, that's why we need to learn conflict resolution skills, because there's so many other things that we can do that don't have to deal with being violent. But I think for a lot of us as men, we associate violence with masculinity. Like, it's masculine to be violent. You need to be violent. You know what I'm saying? Like, you must be violent. Right. And it's like, nah, bro. Like, I don't want to be violent. Like, that's never been me, bro. And when I'm violent, I feel disgusted after. Like, when I do go there, afterwards, I feel disgusting, bro. I feel terrible because it's like, damn, like I really went there. Like, it doesn't even have
like it's a whole.
Yeah, go ahead. Now go ahead. Ask. Yeah.
I was gonna say you feel like it's a lot more stuff that comes along with it too after you get physical.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Oh yeah. Yeah, bro. It's like, yo,
Like your hand hurt.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? There's so many different things that happen as a result of that. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, yo, like, and not even just that too. It's like there was like you did something to another person, their response to it, you know what I'm saying? Like potentially their family. Like if you empathize with people, some people don't empathize, so they don't have to deal with that. But for me personally, I empathize with others, right? So like if I do something physically to hurt somebody, right? Like I'm still gonna empathize with that person at the end of the day afterwards. It's gonna bother me, bro. So for me, I don't want to always resort to violence, bro. Like I want to do as much as I can to not get to that point. You know what I'm saying? As much as I can to de-escalate, which is why I've had posts on the page about how to de-escalate arguments, because as black men, we don't be knowing how to de-escalate stuff. It's like, oh, he took it there, I'm gonna take it here.
I got a match.
Yeah, I got to match. I got to match their energy. Dumb do you sound, bro? This ain't Simon Says. What you talking about, bro? Like, what you mean you got to match their energy? No, bro, you on your own frequency. That's low. I hate to use this word because it's really a meme now.
It's true.
But that's low vibrational thinking.
It is.
When you think that you need to match people's energy, that means you are always reactive to your environment. You are not in control. When you have to match people's energy, you're not in control, right? And I'm a man that wants to be in control. So I'm never matching energy. I'm setting the energy in the room. You know what I'm saying? And if you don't match my energy, then I know what to do. Right? But I'm never gonna match people's energy. You don't like that. You ain't winning with that. I'm a match.
Like that.
Yeah, hell no, bro. I'm gonna match this person's energy. What? So if they got a low frequency, you going low?
Yeah,
bro. That don't make no sense. Yeah, go ahead.
And
Yeah,
some people don't even have things to lose at that point. Like you might have way
bro.
more to lose compared to the next person. So that's why they so willing to take it there that fast.
Yeah.
So you got to have the knowledge should be like, okay, I got this going. Like, am I really trying to be in a situation like this where I'm putting this at risk? Probably not. Like, let me dip.
Yeah, you gotta
Let me
think,
dip.
you gotta think way past the situation you in, bro. And that's why I love your story, because when you talk about dealing with the sexual assault, you talked about like the reason why you ain't responding because you was thinking about the future, bro. You did what you was supposed to do. There's so many men in that situation that would have jeopardized their whole future. That probably would have been in jail right now, bro. You get what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
that's not better off than where you are. You in jail and you still have to deal with the trauma of the sexual assault. You
But
get
then
what I'm
you
saying?
got people, and
Yeah,
like you got people saying, like, well, that nigga did, he did do what he was supposed to do. And it's like, yeah, you got people saying this about you, but like you said, you locked up or you losing something. And
right,
it's like, oh, because you were worried about what the next person was gonna say about you. Well, it's like, well, they don't think I'm gay, so I must have did the right thing. Like,
right.
bruh, you lost what? You locked up how long? You got this assault charge on your thing, your record now, and you feel good?
Yeah, like that's not the appropriate response. And I don't want people to get it twisted, right? Like I'm not saying don't speak up for yourself or don't say anything, right? Because that's not what you did, right? But
Right.
I am saying like the violent response that we've learned and we become accustomed to responding with as men is not always the response. I would say in most cases it doesn't call for that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
In most cases, being violent is not necessary. In most cases, most situations, most conflict can be resolved with conversation. Even the ones that are already escalated, and son is coming at you and he's, yo, I can't believe it. You know what I'm saying? And he's already hyped and mad.
Yeah.
That's when you don't match energy. That's when you speak with a calm tone. I've done that before where it's a situation and somebody is heated. You know what I'm saying? And I can match his energy and get to that point. It's not like I don't have a right to be mad or frustrated, but me
Mhm.
matching his energy in that situation is only escalating the conflict. You have to learn how to de-escalate. The way you de-escalate is you speak in a calm tone with rationale. Now, if in that situation that person decides to continue escalating, now you have a decision to make. You can remove yourself from the situation or you can defend yourself. But at least you know you tried the de-escalation route. But a lot of times
Mhm.
we ain't even trying to de-escalate because we don't even know how to de-escalate because we're not even in control of ourselves. You know what I'm saying? So I'm just gonna match his energy. Now we both tight. Now, if he has a gun, he pulling his gun out. You know what I'm saying? This is how things escalate.
Yeah.
This is how things escalate. I've seen videos of men dying or being killed, being murdered off of bumping somebody inside of a corner store.
Yeah.
You bump somebody in the corner store, he's on edge, you on edge because we both super anxious because we just black men and we always anxious, right? So now we're like, what the fuck? You trying to fight me? Bro, all he did was bump you. You know what I'm saying? All he did was bump you. Whether it was on purpose or not, all he did was bump you. You know what I'm saying? You could choose to brush that off and just keep it pushing for real. If you really want to think of it that way, if you really getting deep, right? He bumps you. Now y'all face to face. Now he's mad. You mad. You say whatever. He says whatever. Situation escalates. He feels disrespected, fragile ego. You walk out, he walk out. Y'all start fighting. Now he feels like he's losing the fight. Feels like he's losing respect. He pulls out a gun. He shoots you. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, I've seen that play out in video. I've seen that in my neighborhood. So it's like, bro, like in those situations, nobody has to die. Why are we pulling out guns and shooting each other? Because we bumped into each other in the store. Why did it escalate to that point? Because people are matching energy. You gotta stop. You gotta stop doing that. Somebody coming with negative energy, you don't have to be negative, bro. You don't have to match that. You don't.
I I think a lot of us think that we have the wrong definition, like you were saying, of strength.
Mm,
Like if somebody bumped me, it's like, okay, I gotta show that I ain't no bitch. Like I'm strong too. Like what's up, bro? Like what's happening? Like what you trying to do? And it's
mm,
like it's a tit for tat. And personally, even from like the stuff like my grandfather gave me growing up, he was very into like self-development. So he would give me stuff at a younger age, and he would like give it to me, be like, yo, you read that book? Did you listen to that CD yet? And I'm like, nah. And he would always like drill it into me. So eventually I got to a point to where I started to like pay attention to what he was giving me. And it was more so, he always talked about the real strength came from, being in control of your emotions, of yourself. And I think, me personally, I feel like that's the real strength, because it's like anybody can punch somebody, knock somebody out. But how many people can really go into a situation that's uncomfortable and walk out of that situation unfazed and still in control of themselves and emotions when they leave? Not many people can do that.
Not many people, and not many men, bro.
Yeah.
Not many men, right? Like, you have to have a certain level of peace internally to even get to that point. And a lot of people aren't at peace with who they are. So they just waiting. You know what I'm saying? They just waiting for one thing to happen for them to go off.
And not to cut you off, but to go back,
ahead.
I feel like that was a lot of where my anger came from when I was younger, because like you said, I wasn't able to talk and get it out the way I needed to healthily. So I walked around with that, that dark cloud around me.
Yeah. Nah, that's a fact, bro. That's a fact. I've had moments like that too when I was younger, where I'm like, yo, if anybody say something to me today, I'm ready. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want somebody to try me today. I want somebody in the face. I've had those moments. Like, why are we going outside like this, bro? You know what I'm saying? Like, you need to talk to somebody, bro. You don't need to be punching. You don't need to be punching somebody in their face. That's misdirected anger. You know what I'm saying? So we have to understand it starts with peace within. Like, you don't get to a point where you're able to control your response and not match people's energy until you have that peace within. Because I have that peace within, I know when somebody else is imbalanced. And I know that imbalance does not need to be matched. Like, I don't need to equal that. Like, I need to cancel that out, right? Or remove myself. Right, exactly. I need to be the opposite of that in that situation. I don't want that energy, right? And I don't want that energy to continue to grow. And the way that I make sure that I do my best, the way that I do my best to not make that energy grow is by controlling myself. But it has to start with that peace within, which is why you need to be able to get out what it is that you're dealing with, which is why it's important to express how you feel, be more confident in yourself, and be more comfortable with who you are, because all of that helps you to create that peace within so that you don't have to respond so emotionally. Because like we said, man, if you going outside and you like, yo, bro, I'm ready to beat somebody up, you ain't balanced right now, bro. I'm gonna keep it a stack with you, bro.
You need to go back in the house.
You need to go back in the house, bro. You need to go back in the house, get yourself, subscribe to Safe Haven, get paired with a therapist, and go talk to a therapist there, bro. Because that ain't the route you want to be taking, bro. That ain't the route you want to be taking. So even speaking of therapy, bro, because you talked about therapy a little bit earlier, bro. Please, like, you're in therapy right now, right?
Yeah.
How long have you been in therapy for?
I've been in therapy since 2020, so like going on like 2 years now.
Okay, so you started during the pandemic.
Yeah,
I started during the pandemic too. Okay, cool, dope. You've been in therapy. You've been in therapy for 2 years. Me too, right? I want to ask you, bro, because I always talk about my journey. I feel like people tired of hearing my journey. Like, bro, okay, we get it, therapy, right? Like, we get it, right? I want to talk to you about your experience as a Black man in therapy. Like, how has it been for you when you started? Like, where were you at, and like, where are you at now?
When I started therapy, that was like my first time. I was very skeptical. I mean, let me be real. Like, I knew I needed therapy from like stuff I went through as a kid, but I was like, I'm not flashing on people. I'm not in jail. I don't have problems with the law or nothing like that. So it's like, I'm operating cool. I feel like I'm good. Even after the sexual assault, I'm like, I'm good. I'm straight. I remember I was talking to my girlfriend. She was like, nah, like, you need therapy, because she knew a lot of the stuff that had been happening to me. She was like, you need to talk to somebody. I'm like, yeah. So I blew it off for like a year, and she kept bringing it up. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna try it. So that was like around the pandemic. And when I started, I'm gonna be real. It's like, you kind of feel weird because you're not telling everybody, but you're telling a stranger about your life, what happened to you, how it makes you feel. And I feel like that's the most uncomfortable part. But once you get to a point to where you understand that the therapist is there literally to help you. They have no other intention other than helping you, making sure like you're good. I feel like it was a lot easier for me to open up and really talk about it, because I got to a point to where I was like, okay, I want to be better, because it's like I see where I'm at, and I'm like noticing stuff I'm seeing like it doesn't sound right. So I was like, all right, I got to get better. Like I'm trying to get better. I'm constantly trying to elevate. So for me, I got addicted to it because it was like I seen where I was able to unload stuff that I've been holding for years, bro.
Right. Right.
Years.
Right. Right. So
And it
where do
just made
you
me feel
like, yeah, now go ahead.
I was just gonna say it just made me feel like way lighter after doing it.
Yeah, man. I feel like a lot of people say that, bro, especially black men, because you like, yo, man, you don't realize how heavy everything that you're carrying actually is until you get into therapy. Like
Fact.
once I got into therapy and I started to like release some of the thoughts and like get to like my subconscious beliefs and like start talking about some of the things that I never really talked about or never really took time to think about, started bringing those things to light and like really getting to a point where I felt comfortable with myself. Like I did not know how heavy it was, like all the stuff that I was actually carrying until
Yeah.
like I started to see what it was like when I didn't have to carry it. Now I'm like, yo, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying?
Life changing.
Yo, facts. That's why I always tell people like, bro, my completely like people do not. Yeah, if you knew me in 2020 and you have not talked to me in 2022, I'm a completely different person. You know what I'm saying? Like completely different person, bro. Way different. Like it's so crazy. I remember looking at so when me and my ex were together, right?
Uh-huh.
Or my ex and I, that's appropriate grammar, but don't really matter, right? When my ex and I were together, we were kind of like back and forth about breaking up,
Okay.
right? And so what we did was we created a pros and cons list, right? And I remember like I read through it because it was on my phone the other day, and I read through it with my current girl. We were just looking at it, and one of the things that she put as one of my cons was shuts down, doesn't express himself.
I
Literally
do
in
that.
those words, shuts down, doesn't express himself. This is the man, right? This is the man
Mhm.
that has started Express Yourself, Black man, that she's talking about. The man, Mr. Express Himself, Mr. Express Yourself himself, right? Like on social media. Like she's saying, and this was 2019, before I even started Express Yourself, Black man, before I got into therapy, she had wrote one of my cons was I shut down and I don't express myself. In that like even I don't even think I read that as a con when during that time. I think in that moment, like I didn't even know that that was something that I did. You know what I'm saying? Like I wasn't
Really?
even, yeah, I didn't even realize that that was something that I did. Like reading that, I was like, yo, I used to shut down and not express myself. Like, damn. Like, damn, bro, that's actually wild. And now, like, I couldn't even like. There's maybe times, there are a few times where I feel like, you know what, maybe I don't want to say something right now, but that's not even me shutting down. That's just me reading the room. But shutting
Mhm.
down completely now, nah. You know what I'm saying? Nah. And it's just crazy that that was one of the things that was listed as a con by my ex. Like I didn't express myself. And I'm at a point now where I could talk to anybody about anything that I'm going through. I can articulate whatever it is that I'm going through and how I'm feeling emotionally, because I have the tools. I've developed it over time through years of therapy, right? And like that's one of the biggest things that I realized that I didn't even know was an issue that I struggle with. Because I think sometimes you can kind of like once you get to a certain point of like your healing journey, you can kind of forget where you were at before. And I think that's what
Uh-huh.
happened with me. It's like I kind of forgot that that's what I used to do. Like I really used to shut down. Like I really used to shut down. That's why I don't blame men for that. I just understand like, yo, bro, like that's not the appropriate response, bro. Like you don't need to be
Yeah.
shutting down. And if you feel like you have to shut down with the person that you're with, and like you try to open up, and you still feel like you have to shut down with them
Wrong
because
person.
they don't create space for you, then that's yeah, like you said, that's the wrong person, bro. Like legit. Like when I talk
Yeah.
about my girl and our relationship right now, like I could talk to my girl about anything. And that's how it should be. You know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Like you shouldn't be with a partner that you feel like you can't openly have conversation with. Like if I feel some type of
Yeah.
way about something, regardless of if you did it or not, I should be able to come to you and approach to and talk to you about it, and know that you will create that space for me, and that we'll be able to have a genuine conversation, and that you won't feel some type of way about it, because I'm not being super disrespectful or anything like that. I'm just talking to you
Right.
about how I feel. You know what I'm saying? So I think for
Yeah.
us, like, we got to get to a point where we are comfortable with our expression, and we know when we're expressing and we're being respectful, and like we have that space inside of our relationships, man. Man, like, I know I'm talking a lot, but there's so much stuff that I'm thinking about right now,
It's
man. Like,
good.
yeah, there's so much stuff and normally I don't even really talk like this on the podcast. Anybody that listens to the podcast knows I don't really even be talking like this. I don't talk too much on the podcast. I let the guests talk, but there's a lot of stuff that's coming up right now that I wanted to talk about. Like, I was on social media today, right? And I was on the page, the Black Marriage Movement, and she put up a post, and it was about a man, and he was talking about how, like, if you see things that are wrong in your house, you should just do it, and you don't need to wait for your partner, your spouse, your wife to be there. Like, you don't have to treat her like she's some maid and make her do it and point it out to her. Like, you should do it if you see things that are wrong, right? And he was just basically breaking down like how he was doing the chores in the house, right? Like, kind of something that's fake controversial for a man to do. Like, he took the garbage out. Like, that's not controversial, but like doing the laundry, washing the dishes, taking the kids to do to do grocery shopping and all that kind of stuff. Just talking about how he's an active participant in his household, right? And that was basically the message, right? And all the women loved it, eating it up. Great. This is amazing. I love that men are being active participants in their household. One of the men from our community, and I didn't even know he was actually in the Expressions of Black Man community. I just saw that he commented, and I agree with what he commented, right? He basically commented like, yo, he prefaced it with this. He said, I agree with everything this man is saying. Listen to me. This is what he said. I said, I agree with everything this man is saying. But sometimes as men, right, we are not mind readers, and we don't know what's actually going on in the house, or we're not aware of what's going on in the house because we have all these other things going on. And sometimes we just need a little grace. I'm paraphrasing what he said, but that's the gist of what he said. You know what women did? You know what women did?
Ragged her. Drug.
Ragged him. What you mean you're not a mind reader? If you don't see stuff, how you don't see the same stuff that I see? What you mean you're not a mind reader? You got to see this stuff. And I'm just sitting there, and the dude is being calm as hell in the comments. You know, normally a man, when he expresses himself and he gets that rejection, he'll go into anger.
Yeah.
And then he'll start insulting. This dude is still expressing himself calmly. He's being misinterpreted. Like, everything he's saying is being misinterpreted by multiple women. And I'm reading through the comments, and I'm reading his responses very calm, very calm, very calm. No, you guys are misinterpreting what I'm saying. I'm not saying I don't agree with what he's saying. I'm just saying sometimes we don't see these things and No, that's rubbish. And I'm just like, yo.
Give him a break.
Yo, exactly. Then he goes into saying, see, this is why sometimes men don't express themselves, right? But he's like, right. You know what? But I love our people so much, and I love our community, that even though you guys are misinterpreting what I'm saying, I'm still gonna express myself, because I feel like we don't get anywhere by me shutting down. And exactly. I was just like, you know what? I gotta come in. I gotta hop in these comments. I don't normally hop in, bro. You know how much stuff I'm doing. I don't got time to hop in comments. I read all that. I said, nah, bro. I said, yo, bro. First of all, thank you for expressing yourself here, right? And then I said, as a man that's an active participant in his household, there are so many times in which I don't notice things that need to be fixed, because I'm doing 100 other things, bro. I'm building a business. I'm tending to other family members. I'm tending to other friends. I'm doing other chores. I'm tending to you, my partner. You know what I'm saying? So excuse me if I forget about this, and this. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm saying, I was like, yo, and I'm sorry that some people in these comments are so accustomed to men not doing enough that they can't see when a man is saying that he's trying, but he just needs a little grace. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro, that's all the brother's asking for. He's just saying, yo, just realize not every man
is consciously deciding not to do his chores in the households. Sometimes he just doesn't know that those chores need to be done because he has so much other stuff on his plate, bro.
And a reminder, it goes a long way.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro, literally a reminder, bro. And that's why I love my girl so much, bro. I say all that to say that's why I love my girl, because there's literally women out here. Why can't I get a good man? Why can't I get a good man? Why can't I get a good man? And then you in the comments berating and insulting men. How, sis? How you gonna get a good man? You think a good man wants to be berated and insulted? You think if you're putting out that energy that men around you don't see that? You think a good man is attracted to that? To being disrespected? If you're gonna disrespect a random person on the internet, what you think you're gonna do inside the privacy of your home? Stop it, bro. If I see you disrespecting somebody on the internet, you are crossed off the list. Done. It's clipped. Then you want to talk about why can I get a good man? That's why, bro. That's why. You got to work on you. People don't like having these uncomfortable. Everybody. Not just women.
Everybody.
People don't like having these uncomfortable conversations, bro. But it's real. Like,
it's true.
It shouldn't be that's your response to a disagreement. That means that's how you handle conflict. The way that you handle conflict is by trying to disrespect, insult, and destroy the other person's argument. And that's how you communicate. Nobody wants to deal with that level of communication.
Yeah. I think like you were saying, a lot of the people were in the comment section. They weren't coming from a standpoint of listening. It was more of a reactive reaction that they gave. Because like you said, they were just listening and just would have read what he said. He didn't disrespect anybody. He wasn't saying that, yo, men don't have to do none of that. That's a woman's job. Just pretty much saying simply, yo, sometimes we miss shit. If you tell us, we'll handle it. That's all we sometimes some of need.
Yo,
and that's something totally different.
Bro,
something totally different.
Yo, and you know how exhausting that is, bro? For you to finally start expressing yourself, and then you got a bunch of people that just are committed to misunderstanding you. Yeah. That's exhausting as fuck. Like, as a man that is comfortable with his expression, even I am gonna be like, nah, I'm good, bro. I'm not even gonna waste my time. Because why? Like,
everybody
why?
has limits, bro.
Yeah, everybody has limits. Yeah, so shout out to that man. He actually joined Safe Haven after that. Shout out to him.
Oh, that's what's up.
Yeah, dope dude, man. Like, we had a little conversation in Safe Haven about like Thanksgiving and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, man, shout out to that guy, man. Because when I saw how he had to respond and not necessarily defend himself, but just kind of reiterate what he was saying, and it still was misinterpreted. Like, I was just like, nah, bro, I gotta hop in here and have a conversation with him, man.
You gotta speak your truth.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I think as men, we need to get that support from each other, bro. I know that meant something to him. You know what I'm saying? Just to have another man that was like, yo, bro, I can relate to what you're saying right now. You're not crazy. Because that's all he like, yo, it really don't take much to validate somebody. Even if you don't understand their experience, you can still validate their experience because they're sharing it. You know what I'm saying? Like, if somebody's telling you this is what's happened to me and this is what I'm dealing with, you don't have to agree to validate. You know what I'm saying? Like, like, you don't have to agree to validate. Like, I don't have to have experienced that to validate that. If you telling me that this is what happened to you, yo, bro, all right. Like, how can I work to help you? How can I work to support you? Too many people are too interested in being right versus like actually empathizing with another human being. You know what I'm saying? Like, yo, bro, oh man, it's so funny how this all comes back to conflict resolution. That is conflict resolution 101. Stop trying to be right and empathize. Like,
you just come from a place of understanding, right?
Yeah, come from a place of understanding versus trying to be right. And that's something that we struggle with as men, right? Because we can be so logical. Yeah, we could be so logical. Everything is fact. There's certain times in which I know I'm factually right in my relationship with my girl, but validation trumps my logic. Like, me validating her and her experience has to trump my logic in certain situations in order to de-escalate the conflict. I think a lot of us don't know how to do that. It's like, yo, bro, I'm right, you're wrong. Doesn't matter if you're in your emotions right now. You need to tend to what is actually fact. It's like, nigga, damn.
Relax.
Like, damn, bro, shit. All right, we get it, bro. My bad, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like, damn, son, like she can't just be in her feelings for a little bit, bro. Like, yo, just tend to that. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But we be so disconnected from our own feelings that when our partner is now in theirs, we're disgusted. And it's like, yo, bro, just deal with the facts of the situation. Like, nah, bro, come on, bro. Like, damn, validate them and their experience, and then we can get to the facts. You got to have a certain level of trust with your partner for that to happen, though. You know what I'm saying? So, like, for me, I know that my girl, when she's in her emotions, she's gonna be in her emotions for a little bit. And I'm gonna tend to those emotions. And when she gets out of that, she's gonna realize, I was wilding a little. You know what I'm saying? And then she's gonna double back.
It's usually how it goes.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That's where you got to understand your partner and know and trust that she will double back or they will double back, right? But this gets into the conversation that sometimes people don't be apologizing. Like they don't apologize or they don't take accountability. Yeah.
But like you said, it's all about picking the right person that you can actually talk to and it's actually listening. Because if you do that from the jump, when you get in them situations, like with you and your girl, she may go through that, but then like later come back and be like, all right, I might have been tripping a little bit. My bad. It's cool. It's cool.
I'm so glad you connected that. I'm so glad you connected that, bro. Nah, thank you, bro. Thank you. Because a lot of people gonna be thinking like, well, you just got a good girl. And not every girl gonna do that. Yeah, we talked about that, bro. Yes, you need to pick the right one. Right. The way that you do that is in the dating phase, when you guys are dating and you realize that this person ain't listening, or they solve conflict by insulting or yelling or escalating. Now you know, like, man, this probably ain't someone I want to be with.
And not to cut you.
Yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead.
And not to cut you, but just like you said, and that also, you get to a point of being able to pick a healthy partner from even going through therapy, addressing certain traumas and stuff you went through, certain stuff, you realize like, yo, I didn't realize I was doing this. Now I see why I was attracted to this. So it's like, it's a full circle. It's a full circle. Therapy helps you pick a better partner. A better partner helps you grow and is encouraging, is telling you the right things you need to grow to where to get you up here to, you know, help whatever it is, your business, career, whatever it is you're trying to do. It's a full circle, bro. Full circle.
I love how you connected that, bro. I feel like that's a perfect place to end it at, bro. If you are thinking about therapy, pull up to Safe Haven, bro. Let us pair you with a Black therapist. Before we end, bro, I want you to plug in your social media, where people can connect with you, like what you actually do, any services that you have. Like, just promote yourself, bro, so that people can know where to find you and how to connect with you, bro.
All right, for sure. Well, my Instagram is Branden Mitch. That's Branden, Branden, the correct spelling, I like to say. Mitch. On my website, I got a lot on my profile. I do a lot of lifestyle content. I help men who are dealing with ingrown hair. So I have like a tweezer set if you're looking for like a sharp pair of tweezers to help you get them ingrown hairs. I have educational pieces of content on that. And I also do some stuff with a clothing line I'm actually working on right now. So it's a whole bunch of stuff on my page you guys can check out. You might find something that, you know, you can get some benefit out of.
Absolutely. And I'm about to give you an ad right now. Hold on, because I have your set. I don't know if you know, but I have it. Hold on. I'm coming right back. Hold on.
Nah.
Yeah, hold up. All right, y'all. Stay with me. All right. So if you are on the audio version of the podcast, you are not going to see this. So definitely pull it up on YouTube. If you are on YouTube, you would obviously see this. So this is Mitch. I don't know if it's going to focus. Yeah, there it goes.
There it is, right there.
Mitch skincare. It comes in a nice little like capsule. And then you got your whole set inside here. So I've actually used this. It actually works really well. So if you are thinking of a gift for this Christmas or whatever the case may be, what you're trying to do, like this would actually be good if your man like has a hard time dealing with pimples, or if you like popping pimples on your man. Like my girl like popping pimples. Like she like doing
pulling your ingrown hairs and stuff
out
too, right?
Yeah. She like doing that type of stuff. So this is something that's like, it's a gift to me, but it might be a gift to her for real. Like she likes doing that type of stuff, right? So, and it works really well. It's better than me just trying to squeeze it out with my fingers, bro. Like this legit, I've popped a few pimples with this, bro. I ain't gonna lie, with this set, and actually following your videos too, bro. Like following, watching. I watched a couple of your videos. I'm like, oh, okay, that's how you use it. So get the set for sure. Go on the site. What's the site again, bro?
MitchSkincare.com.
MitchSkincare.com. That's MITCH skincare.com. You will get the set to make sure that you get your man right or get yourself right, because it's not even just only for men. For real.
Everybody needs scissors.
Yes, absolutely. Bro, listen, this has been a great conversation, bro. Definitely appreciative of having you, bro. So until next time, bro.
All right, for sure. It's been real, dog.
Absolutely, bro. Take it easy. All right, y'all see I'm in a suit. I am never in a suit, but today is a special day. We just signed a contract with 2 Black organizations. They're gonna offer therapy and medical care to Safe Haven and the Express Yourself Black Man platform. We're partnering with both Whole Brother Mission and the Healthcare Plug. I'm gonna have Malik, the CEO of Whole Brother Mission, and Simone from the Healthcare Plug explain exactly what that partnership means.
I'm Malik Blade, CEO of the Whole Brother Mission. We are a nonprofit offering mental health services to Black men nationwide. We have a network of over 3,000 mental health professionals. We're offering an exclusive low price for therapy to members of Safe Haven and free group therapy. All you need to do is join the low-cost therapy group. And there's more. We're not just focused on your mental health, we're focused on creating a space for holistic healing. So I'm about to pass it over to Simone so she can tell you how the Healthcare Plug is doing that.
Hey, I'm Simone Kenya, CEO of the Healthcare Plug, the nation's first medical concierge service for Black and Brown communities. Our goal is to increase the access that marginalized groups have to the highest healthcare quality possible. Of our partnership with Express Yourself Black Man, we're offering free round-trip transportation, assistance with getting signed up for affordable insurance plans, and physician referrals. So we'll get you plugged in with Black and Brown doctors in your area. All you have to do is sign up for Safe Haven and join the medical concierge group.
Safe Haven is the only platform where Black men can get access to a support network of other Black men that can relate to exactly what they're going through. And on top of that, they get access to low-cost therapy, the free medical concierge service, free group therapy, and a personal finance group with information on how you can take your situation financially to the next level. So at this point, why are you not in Safe Haven? So if you're ready to start taking your healing and your life seriously into the next level, join Safe Haven. The link is in my bio.
Sometimes I know you feel like you ain't got nobody to speak to. A shoulder to lean on somebody you could preach to. No, you need to hear it, my brother, I love you. We got way too much to live for. We got way too much to live for.